because I know that you represent our wonderful agencies that are meeting the needs of our neighbors. 200,000 plus per year you serve. And so let's give yourselves a round of applause. So without further ado, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our new executive director, Kristen Weil, and she has done a fantastic job of just diving in and getting to know all that we do. So please join me in welcoming Kristen.
Thank you and welcome. It is my privilege to be here today with all of you. Today actually marks my 7-month anniversary of joining Operation Food Search. And I have to say, when I started, I felt a little daunted by the task that lay ahead as I tried to fill the shoes of my very successful predecessor, Sonny Schaefer, who was here for 22 years and did an absolutely fabulous job. Many of you probably know her. But I quickly learned upon my arrival that the success of Operation Food Search is not due to the efforts of any individual person. It's the result of an incredible team here at Operation Food Search and the team that you all make up. We could not do what we do without you being out there in the field and helping to eradicate hunger in our region. So thank you very, very much. My career path has always had a common theme of working with children. I taught school in inner city Houston and Nashville through the Teach for America program. I worked within the legal system on behalf of abused and neglected children. I worked for Southern Learning Center franchises, Autism Speaks, and most recently for the Ladue Education Foundation, working to provide opportunities for students. But it really thrills me to be here now at Operation Food Search, where I can help tackle a very basic need for children and for adults. I guess I've been asked a few times by people what has been the most surprising thing since starting at Operation Food Search. I would say first, it's the scale of the problem that we're facing. 14.2% of residents in Missouri are food insecure. 10.9% residents of Illinois are food insecure, and 1 in every 5 children in our region go to bed with the possibility of having an empty stomach and not knowing when their next meal is going to come. So that was really shocking to me. I knew there was an issue, but I had no idea the extent. The second has been the realization, which I alluded to, is that there is just such an incredible network of talented and dedicated people who are tackling this. Everyone in this room is part of that group. And it's just really been eye-opening that there's a force out there that I think with all of our efforts, we may not be able to eliminate it 100%, but we can certainly make an impact on food insecurity. I know a lot of you probably have challenging days. Some of you may feel understaffed, under-resourced where you work. There's an emotional toll when you're working with people who are struggling to put food on the table. But I hope that you feel uplifted every day, knowing that you're making such a positive impact on people's lives, not just providing a meal, but also providing hope and encouragement and security. I look forward to working with you in the coming years. I hope today proves to provide you with great information and also an opportunity to network with each other, share ideas and best practices, and also learn about a lot of the community resources that are surrounding you on the perimeter of this room. So thank you very much, and I will hand this back over to Jill.
Our team now, and we're just thrilled to have you. So in your package, you do have the agenda for the day, and one of the things we think this annual meeting is important for is to roll out any kind of changes we might do at any point in time. And there she's slipping in the back, Deborah. We want to thank Deborah Vincent for her hard work. She's the voice on the phone here so many times. Thank you, Deborah. And then another colleague, Jack Barron, has has slipped in, and he often helps with a lot of things. And actually, Jack is the person that works with our grocers and helps us keep our grocers happy. So I think he deserves more applause than you just gave him. So one of the things I want to talk about is we always appreciate your feedback. And whenever we can, within the confines and constraints of our donors and our grant reporting, we will try to be responsive. Now sometimes we're just not able to because grants require us to do other things. So you have given us some suggestions, and as a result we're making a few changes to the reporting process. And so I want to walk those through, and hopefully it's going to help. Hopefully it's going to help you have more accurate reports and more timely reports. And I'm going to see if I can do this from afar. Let's see. So, you know, this is our website, right? And when you're going to submit your monthly report, you go to agencies. And there's also our holiday schedule, which we've already given you our holiday schedule. Deborah will talk about that in a minute for 2020. And you go down to monthly reporting. And we have some new things on monthly reporting. The first change we've made is more of you are giving food baskets, food boxes out than are doing meal preparation. So the first thing we did was to put that up at the top. So instead of, I know in the past, if you did food distribution, you had to scroll towards the bottom. So we've moved that up. So this next month, be sure you fill out the right section. And then we are trying to really help with numbering things correctly. So I want to point out right here, total number of people. This is a really important category right here. And the new thing that our wonderful people that do the website have done is, as you enter numbers, right here, it's going to add it for you. But then what you have to do is make sure that this equals this. Okay? So let me give you a little demo here. I can do it from afar. Let's see. Maybe if I... Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. I'm going to do this. And look at it. Magically, it has given us 126. So this number up here should be the same as this number. Is that going to help? All right. And then the same thing for ethnicity. So, and the other thing we've done is we have heard that you do have clients that do not want to self-declare an ethnicity. And so we are now allowing a category, clients prefer not to disclose. Clients, now that doesn't mean pantry, that means clients prefer not to disclose. And again, our grants require us to report ethnicity. And if we don't report ethnicity, we aren't going to be able to continue to get the funding we need to support you. So that's why we are not able to get rid of that. And again, magically and wonderfully, you can just zip these to any amount. You can do over here. And we'll try one here. And as you can see here, it gives you your total, 108. That will need to equal your total up higher up. Okay, so total number of people. Total number of people is the key. So, and in your packet, we have produced a little fact sheet, help sheet, tip sheet for that. And the ethnicities, we reduced the number of them because there were just so many of them, and they were kind of confusing. And I want to thank Sarah Swearer over there because she did all the research, and now these ethnicities more match our federal kind of granting. So it lines up better with the federal grant information. So hopefully that will alleviate some of your challenges. On the choose not to disclose, I will say this. We do not ever want to see 100% of your clients in choose not to disclose. We want you to still try to be talking to them about how it helps us do a better job with programming, helps us make sure that all of our materials in nutrition ed are culturally sensitive and competent and are reflecting, do we need to translate some of our information? So we are looking across all of the pantries in our 30 counties in Illinois and Missouri to see if there's demographic shifts and to be responsive to that. And also to help us, if at a point in time, to do more culturally sensitive food sourcing as well, which at this point yet we aren't able to. And I'm going to ask that we maybe send me questions because we're going to have a real short time here. So if you can email me questions and we'll get the answers out to everybody. Because I'm sure everybody wants to know everybody's questions, and that will help us move along. Oh, okay. They were on your chair. On your chair.
When does this go into effect?
It is up and live now. Up and live now. Okay, so moving right along, the other thing we recognized was that those that are meal sites have been recording things very differently and have some really different circumstances. So we have some meal sites that are residential, and you have kind of a consistent group of people that, you know their names, you know how long you've had them, things like that, compared to those that are non-residential, where it's y'all come kind of situation. So what we have changed here, and you'll see here, is that we now have a residential check. And if you check that, there will be a drop down, which will ask the number of meals and the number of unduplicated clients. That will help us quite a bit. And then for those that are community meal sites, and I think I've got this up, it's the number of people and the number of meals you serve per month. Because right now, everybody on meal sites are reporting it very differently. And so again, I invite you to try this out, see how it works. We can make changes down the road, but we are open to your feedback. And the last thing I know, when I've done site visits, I've talked to many of you about how we are moving to a tiered system in terms of food distribution. We are probably going to start piloting that in October. And so again, it will be based on the number of people you serve, the number of days and hours you're open per month, whether your site picks up directly from a store or not, and the frequency of your pickups at a store. And so we're asking you to give it like all of October, all of November, before you start giving us feedback about how it's working. It does give us the opportunity to make little tweaks to it. And so, but try it out for several months before you ask us to tweak, just to see how it's working. And it will still depend on what donations come into us to be able to distribute. But we recognize some of you are larger and feeding more people, and yet right now we're giving everybody the same numbers. And the one other thing I want to reaffirm to you is you never have to take everything that we offer you. So, if you're getting inundated with stuff, you don't have to take it all. Okay? And like I say, we can adjust the tiered system. And so my last thing that I need to talk about is that we are so pleased to announce, I need to try to, let me go close. I don't have the eyes. I am so pleased to announce that we have a new hunger hotline. Now the number has not changed for the hotline, but what has changed is that we now have the ability to have a text line. And so but the text line number is different than the hotline number. We tried, but it would have cost us like $25,000 to have the same number. Yes, the hotline number is 314-726-5355, and they hit extension 1. The text number is 785-503-3310. And so they would put that number in at 785-503-3310, and then where you write your text, they text their zip code, and 3 sites closest to their zip code will pop up. And the other exciting thing, as a result of this, we now have a much better map, and that's why it's very important for you all to keep us up to date about when you change your hours and days of service. So you can see here, it's cleaner and neater, and then when you click on one of these, it highlights it over there, but it also can highlight it right there in the map. So it's much neater and cleaner for our folks. And the other thing to let you know is we are in the process of creating new hunger hotline and text line cards that will have the hotline on one side and it will have the text line on the other side. And we hope to have those to you fairly soon. And when you get those, we will distribute them probably through the warehouse, and we'll let everybody know they're available for those of you that don't come to the warehouse. But we ask that you get rid of the old ones. I mean, the phone number is the same for the hotline, but we want them to have both the hotline and the text. So if you would discard any of those old once you get the new.
Put that number back on there too.
Sure, I'll leave those numbers up. And people can still always, come to the site and view the map. And so without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Deborah, and she has a few other items to talk about.
Good afternoon. I won't be that long. So the holidays are coming up, and the way to find out if we're closed on the holiday is to look on the website. So that's updated, and you will find out the days that we're closed and the days you are allowed to come to the pantry. So, for instance, if we're closed on a Monday, you're allowed to come to the warehouse Tuesday through Thursday on your designated time. Please don't show up on Friday unless you're ruled. And rule only comes on the first and the third Friday of the month. So there's a holiday Monday. You can come Tuesday through Thursday at your designated time. Also, I'm sorry? Okay. Also, the holiday schedule is also in your packet. So you might want to post it where everybody can see it. I need for everyone to look to your left and repeat after me. Reporting on time and accurate has its perks. All right, now turn to your right and repeat after me. Reporting on time and accurate has its perks. Now, everybody knows, right? Okay. One thing, it helps me every month because I have to push out a report by the 10th or 11th of the month, or somebody be calling me I need my report, I need my report. So it's important that you get your monthly distribution reports in a timely manner and to be accurate. That way, you don't have to get a phone call from me. I'm going to come back to this one. Today, I would hope that each one of you all would visit these tables. There's a lot of important information you can take back to your pantries and share with your clients. One of the things we would like to do is try to decrease deficiencies in our communities, and there's a lot of helpful information. So please, there's a passport in your packet. So at each table that you visit, the vendors will mark that off and return those passports back to me. Be sure you put your name and your agency number on the front of it, and there's a special little token that I will have. It's a limited quantity, but I do have some gifts to offer you on that. So, I decided one day to go back and see who actually fills out the reports on time and accurately. So, out of all of the agencies, I was only able to choose 5. I'll put you on the spot so you can stand. Agape Ministry, Warren County, has turned in their reports accurate and on time, 2017, 2018, and 2019. Halls Ferry Manor, same period, 2017 through 2019. In Paris House, same period, 2017 to 19. Same period. It's got to be more than just these few that has turned in these accurate. So I went all the way back to 2016, and I found one person. When they first started, they started off a little bit rocky, but once they got a hold on what they're supposed to do, they have not missed since 2016 up until today, and that's Arnold Food Pantry. For those 5, I have a $100 gift card for you. So if you want to come up and get it, or you can hunt me down, I'll be here. I promise I'm not going to run away with your card. So, and that's all I have for you today. Oh, badges. Yes. Let's talk about these badges. I'm going to start charging $25 if we have to make another badge. They're very expensive, they're costly, they're time consuming to make. I have to wait till Jill has finished her coat and ask her nicely if she will please remake you another badge. So, yeah, let's try to keep those badges like we keep our credit cards and our driver's license. So you always have to have them on you when you're at the food pantry, when you're going to your house. You must have them when you are picking up food at your grocery stores, and so they must be visible. I think that's it. Thank you.
But I just want to add to what Deborah was saying about our wonderful vendors. I think again, when we do site visits, I'm talking to you about how we're really trying to end hunger. And we know that you are the first leg of ending hunger, but that really folks need a lot more supports. And so we want to work and build out this network to include a network of social service agencies that you can on a regular basis engage with. And so today is our first attempt at doing that. So as Deborah said, you have a little card, and everybody that fills out and sees every single vendor, and the vendors know they have a special magic pen to mark off for their table. Those who have completed and visited every single one, you'll go into a drawing for a prize. And how many do we have? 6? 6 prizes, special prizes. Then the other thing we're going to have you do is, in your packet is this thing that's called Community Food Site Bingo. We want you to really engage with each other because we believe that you all are the experts in the emergency food system and that there's so much that you can learn from each other. And so really the rest of the meeting is going to be spent you networking with each other, you networking with our vendors, you experiencing the wonderful gifts of our Nutrition Ed team and the snacks that are provided. One last thing before we start, if you have not filled out your pre-survey, please do so, and let's pass them this direction. And we'll, Jesse, can I have you pick them up at the end of the aisles over here? So fill out the pre-survey. And one last instruction is when you leave, if you hand out your post, if you complete your post survey, as you leave, that's your ticket out. Otherwise, we're just going to keep you here forever. But when you get your ticket out, you will also get a nice water bottle. So, without further ado, we invite you to go visit the vendors, visit with each other, have some fun with bingo, have some fun with the vendors, and have some fun with food. Thanks so much for coming.